Mark and Joey here from the ultimatesportschannel.com. And first of all, Joey, I'll just mention our backdrop's not there if you've seen the show before. We happen to move for a week here in Orlando. Most of you who follow us, Joey's a professional golfer, and that makes sure that we're from Canada down in Florida for the winter. A little bit of time we spent in Myrtle Beach as well. But we do move around looking for the best deals we can get, and we were only a week in this particular room, so we didn't bother setting up the backdrop. It was a bit of work. We are moving over to another place for a couple of weeks, and we'll get it back up there for you. But anyway, it's beautiful here. One thing, it's just been gorgeous in Orlando, and sorry to those of you in the north as well as our Canadian fans, and actually our Canadian family is up there, so we try not to make too big of an issue of it. But Joey, here we are, and really this week kind of branching out now. NFL's over. We were obsessed with the NFL. That was really the story every week. There was no playoffs happening in the other sports. It was kind of not much going on. Even golf and tennis, we covered a couple things, you know. So, but we're now back into the whole season of winter sports, the end of winter sports. Oh my God, boom, boom, boom. Been in the sun too much. The end of winter sports and MLB coming up in the summer here with golf and tennis. So lots of sports to cover. So we're going to be on more often than we were when we were focused on the NFL just once a week. We'll be doing more about the games every weekend. So Joey, let's start with one of our favorite sports is golf, obviously PGA. You live the life, it's what we're all about here. And so let's talk about the PGA. We had a great tournament last week. And every week now it's starting to look like the season's getting close. The Masters coming up in April. Oh, you told me not to forget this, but why don't you do it? Let's thank all of our fans on the different channels.
Yeah, we got many channels that we're currently on right now, and let's start out with where we started, which is the Roku channel. We're very happy to be on Roku. Again, please go leave us a rating. It certainly helps us out with the future of our show on Roku. It's very important to us, so we'll start off with you guys.
And we get more fans if they
get more fans, but yeah, we'll start with you guys, so thank you for continuing to watch. Then we'll transfer over to where we went secondly, which was Vimeo.com. And we have reached over 1 million fans now on Vimeo.com. We're super happy to be on
there. 1 million views of our, multiple by the same people, but 1 million views that we've got.
Okay, yeah.
I wish we had 1 million people following us every week.
Hey, it's more impressive.
Yeah.
So Vimeo.com, that's been great avenue for us to release our videos and get them up there. And obviously it's drawn tons of views, so we're super happy about that. And then we'll go over to Patreon. It's been our newest one. We're starting to build there, hoping to keep on building lots of great things for you guys to get on Patreon if you do go there and subscribe to our channel for free right now. Lots of videos, but also tons of giveaways, so lots of fun there. And then, of course, on the side, we always post on Facebook. It's not one that gets any mentions,
and LinkedIn,
but
and
Facebook,
YouTube.
LinkedIn, all our social media pages that get people to watch the videos. We're grateful for you guys liking our pages on there and seeing the content each week that we put out, and you'll get a ton of videos this week. This is going to be our 4th. We're going to end up doing 6. We did 3 yesterday, 3 today, so thank you for tuning in.
Yeah, that's awesome, and like you say, we can't do the show without the fans. It's been fantastic. We appreciate it. Appreciate all comments, by the way, too. And so anything like that you feel like throwing onto YouTube and anywhere else that you're seeing us, you can put comments. Go ahead and do that. We respond to all the comments that come through to us for sure. So hey, let's get on with the show. PGA, Joey, what's happening this week?
Yeah, so this week is the Genesis Invitational, and it's the first time this event has got invitational status, and that's a big deal for many reasons. First of all, it is Tiger's event, so you really look at the Arnold Palmer Invitational, that's Arnie's event, and then you look at Jack's event, that's Invitational event. So here we go again with an Invitational event hosted by Tiger Woods. It's technically his event. In LA, where he started his professional career at the age of 16 and played his first event at Riviera Golf and Country Club, and that's where it is again this year. Riviera, one of the most famous courses around the world, hosted in LA, so Hollywood there for you. Going to host the Olympics and some majors going forward, including another golf course out in the Hollywood area, LA area. So this is a very, very cool event. He was happy to get invitational status, bring out one of the better fields of the year to compete with. It is a full field. It's not like his earlier event with 16 guys. It's a full field, but it's all the top players around the world. Guys you've heard of, old and young. Bringing someone like Steve Stricker back into play an event this week. So he's brought everyone together, and it's a great week so far. They started play today. Not much wind. Golf course playing really fast and firm, but putting up a few good scores of some of the top golfers, including Tiger Woods, who, by the way, live update is 4 under through 9 holes. So it'll be interesting to watch him going forward. Looking like the best best player out there, honestly. Kuchar is leading the tournament, fired a 7 under earlier this morning.
Wow. Yep.
Afternoon, though, supposed to be tougher, but there's Tiger Woods right there on the heels, currently tied for second. Going to be lots of fun to watch him going forward. And fun fact, I've said a lot here, fun fact is guys who do well at Riviera typically transfer that into the Masters. It's a very similar
Well, it's
course.
only 2 months away. Less than that, actually.
Yeah, but it's not even about the 2 months away. It's about the course. The course is very similar to Augusta with tough greens, very firm, shiny and fast, and all that good stuff we love about the Masters. So a lot of guys have left here and gone and played well in April at Augusta, including Bob Watson, who's won both twice. So
including Tiger Woods.
Something to look for. Tiger Woods has not won this event as often as you think, but he's looking good this year, and obviously he's played well at the Masters so often. So it's a good stepping stone in the right directions if you're a Tiger fan at the Masters.
Well, and we're talking about the fact that our expectations are for Tiger to have a big year this year, winning the majors for sure. I've already placed my bet, and I think this tournament you're going to see him obviously -4. They're playing well right now. Hopefully it'll be nice weather. It's been cold the last week, but they all had jackets on and everything and sweaters. So hopefully California, performs and we get some real heat this
Pebble Beach
this week.
is exposed to the shoreline.
Yeah.
This course is not, so they're looking pretty comfy out there in their 80-degree weather. So.
Yeah, so hopefully that'll be the case. It's what you'd like to see on the way in the early part of the season. This is occurring, but there you go. We're getting real close to the Masters. Joey, who's going to win? I'm thinking that Kuchar. He won a couple early last year. Had a pretty decent season. He had all that personal crap going on, which he doesn't have this year. Is he in for a big year? This guy is playing better golf. He's always played good golf, not won a lot. 2 wins last year. Are we going to see a lot more out of him this year?
I think so, but I don't really think it will necessarily be in the bigger events. I mean, he plays a lot of golf. I think, though, it might be, speaking of bigger events, funny enough, I do think he could contend for a major this year with all that being said, but really what I want to get to is I don't think this is his week. It is an impressive round. He's cleared his head a lot. I think you'll see him with 2 wins. He seems to be pretty consistent at getting a win. I think he'll add a second one. I look at the majors. He might be able to win a U.S. Open or a British Open.
Especially U.S. Open. It's a right dead straight.
Yeah, now the big bombers have been a lot smarter when going to play the U.S. Opens and have taken advantage of hitting 3-wood off tees. So, we'll see how it works out. The British Open's an interesting one, too, because a guy who's consistent might be able to work depending on the weather. I don't think he's a big-time player overall because he doesn't have... Really, he has one shot. It works. It's made a great living.
Lots of money, but he doesn't get a lot of
he's
wins.
An ATM, has a lot of wins at easier golf courses, at golf courses where you don't have to work many shots. Majors, you seem to need to have a few more than just your go-to. More importantly, you need more distance. They always make majors longer than regular events. We'll see.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what, I just said this is a master build-up event. A lot of guys do well, so if he does well this week, he'll have a lot of confidence going in the Masters. And the one thing we do know, he's a great putter. So if you ever keep it together mentally going into a 4th round, he's definitely a guy that maybe at the Masters could possibly win. If maybe, too, it plays the way Zach Johnson won now 10 years ago. But when maybe 12, when Zach Johnson won, it was wet, which made wedge play important. That's a situation he needs.
It takes a little bit away on the distance. Better iron players are needed when it's wet.
More importantly, wedges. I mean, with the Masters, we all know these par 5s are kind of a joke these days. So it's all about the wedge play. If it can rain and be play long, and that's something he's going to need at any major. Is it plays too long for even the big guys to reach in 2. That's the only way he can win any major. That's how he wins these events, and typically not off-week events because there's usually 1, 2, 3 guys there. But this is an invitational event. Very difficult for him to win. And by the way, he has Tiger Woods, who's looking like the best player on the planet right now. And it's Tiger Woods of old. It is phenomenal to watch.
Yeah, it is phenomenal. Hey, listen, speaking of Tiger Woods and all the other big bombers, let's talk about the story this week about distance. A whole study was done about how far the ball is being hit and the impact this is having on the game of golf. It's quite shocking to me that you got to go through this whole study. Why don't you just talk to the greatest golfer of all time? He's been preaching this problem for years because he's a golf designer. He knows what this means to the game of golf. They're talking about how are they going to dial these guys back because they cannot expand golf courses big enough for the PGA guys to play any longer. They're also worried about their land use and the green environment, all those kinds of things, the amount of water, all these things that go into now having to expand all these golf courses to make this happen. And even amateurs are starting to hit the ball and out-hit their local courses. So there's a lot of discussion go on. Take a look, research the report on distance.
I do want to address this because, first of all, Phil Mickelson addressed it. And he said this is what happens when you have a tour of professionals run by amateurs. And he's not wrong. I mean, this is brutal conversation. I don't get it all. It's the dumbest conversation I've ever heard. First of all you need to do is make the rough longer. I've never understood this whatsoever. And if you're willing to host a PGA Tour event, it's up to you to do that. And second of all, Jack hosts the players at his course, PGA National, that plays insanely difficult. And what did he do? He made par 3s long and tough, and then he grows a little bit of rough when they come in, and he plays like an insanely tough golf course. But more importantly, that golf course is a par 70, and every golf course that's a par 70 on the PGA Tour is very, very difficult, and that's what most major courses are becoming. It's not hard. And what they're complaining about is when they shoot 22 under, but guess what? The fans like when they shoot 22 under because it makes people believe at home, watch them. I can never do that. That impresses me. When they see him shoot +2 and +3, they go, oh wow, I did that on Saturday. What are they doing? What's wrong with them? This is the dumbest conversation, and this is what Phil's point was. There are athletes out there, and Phil's upset that guys have worked hard to hit it farther and improve their games, and now they're trying to reel it back. Phil addressed it. I like the way he said it. I think this is totally backwards conversation, and I'm sick of it.
Well, I totally disagree with you on this one, Joey. This is about equipment. This isn't about them making themselves better. I can tell you right now, give them the old clubs, put them out there, make them play the game. They're not hitting it.
He hit it 322 yards.
They're not, but he's just out there swinging away. I'm talking about playing an event. The golf courses are not able to keep up to the equipment. This is Jack's point. Now, let's talk from a designer, not from Phil Mickelson, who's out there playing and wants to look like a star. 49 years old, still able to play. That could never happen in the past. That's all equipment based.
What's wrong with all this?
They're saying that golf courses now have to expand every golf course, not just Phil's thing about PGA. They're talking about everybody who plays golf, that the best players at courses now are out hitting the golf course, even on their local course.
Do you hear them complain about shooting 6 under?
No. The golf courses are complaining. They can't expand anymore. They can't
but they don't
make their golf course. They do because their golfers are now out hitting the golf courses, and their home membership golf courses are now a joke to the members. They will not keep buying memberships if that's the case. So now what they're saying is they actually have no more space. On a lot of golf courses, they were built around housing, they were built around land that is got some obstructions or whatever it may be. They're running out of space to build golf courses. Now, on top of that, it's not even about building them, it's about the green world we live in with the weather and all those kinds of things that are happening. They're saying that they can't keep putting a larger footprint of golf courses in there because of this distance, and it's a very easy solution. Jack has been saying it for years. I don't know. Let's just talk to the greatest golfer of all time, find out what he thinks. He's been trying to preach this, and he's saying the ball is all it takes. Take the ball back 10%, and all of a sudden now you have golf courses that are just like they used to be. Anyway, that's the discussion. It's good. It already made a discussion with us. Phil already got into the thing. We're going to see what's going to happen around this, but very interesting report, which to me was a waste of time because Jack's been saying it for so long. Yeah. And I don't know why no one will listen to Jack, but the guy just designs golf courses, and he was the greatest player to play the game. So he knows the issues with designing golf courses. I don't know that you know it. I don't. I just heard him talk. He knows the issues about the footprint that golf is starting to put on the world and the water usage that they need, all these kinds of things that cause problems in the areas where they build golf courses. So it isn't about Phil wanting to still shoot 7 under when you're 49 years old. This is about the golf course and the imprint it has on the world. So we're going to see what happens with that, but that's what's happened this week, and it's obviously spurred on some great conversation about golf.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I mean, Jack Stein's golf course obviously knows what's going on. I guess my biggest thing is there's not a lot of golfers out there that could ever complain about a golf course being too easy. Most golfers are horrible, and this is just helping them hit it better, hit it a little bit farther, which is all they talk about is how far they hit it. I think he gets caught up sometimes in the correlation of PGA guys and regular guys, and I think that's the mistake sometimes he's making. You don't need to actually extend your golf courses. I don't think anyone hits it too far to say, oh my God, this golf course is so short, it's a joke. Most people struggle just to break 80. And so I just think, I don't know, I know where he's getting it from, and I think it's because he, as a designer, wants to be better than and for his people. And more important, I think he always thinks of where can I bring a PGA event to one of my courses. There's so many he can't because of how short they are. So I get that too. I don't know if they addressed the amateurs and did a survey of amateurs, if amateurs really would complain with how far they hit it. No one shoots that well. I heard, 1% shoots better than 80? Or no, breaks par maybe?
Breaks par in the 70s,
So if anyone's truly complaining, I'm just going to laugh in their face because no one's good enough to really complain about local golf courses being too short or being too easy. Now, the only thing that I agree
Don't
with
forget,
him
this is golf courses that are having the problem.
No,
not the
but I think
players.
golf courses think there is a problem. Maybe there isn't. Like the problem is they think they need to keep making courses longer because of how far people hit it. Yeah, people just aren't good enough, and I don't think that it's a big enough spread of people that are complaining. Here's the thing that he said, which made the most sense to me. The reason why he wants the golf ball change is why. It's actually for lefts and rights, which I thought was interesting. I never thought about before, and that's the only thing I can say he definitely has a conversation about over what I'm going with, which is that's a problem that I never thought of before, was actually how far people can now miss it left and right because of how far they're hitting. And that's where
how far they're trying to hit.
Right, and that's where I have to say he must be right, because I don't know that for sure. I'm thinking straight, and I'm thinking 230 versus 200. What he's saying is actually people are trying to hit 230, and because they can, they're now spraying it so far left and right. That's the biggest issue for golf courses. Houses getting hit.
Well, time of golf is one of the biggest issues that amateur golf courses have. The games, the rounds are taking way too long, and part of that is the further you go. You know this. You were 14 years old and hitting it 230 yards or whatever. Now it's 300. How many more times are you off the fairway because of that? Well, amateurs do that more often than we do that. So if they think they can hit it, and how many guys do we talk to? Oh yeah, I hit the ball 270. Okay, well you don't. We know that because we know what it takes to hit the ball 270, and it's all in their imagination. But in their brain, first of all, they're waiting longer. So when they think they can hit it on a par 5 and 2, which they cannot do, they're waiting for guys to clear the fairway. If the ball just couldn't go that far, and you actually couldn't get the greens in 2 unless you're a remarkable player, they play faster. Just like they do on par 4.
If that's the conversation, then I'm more on board.
Well, it's all about all
the problem is the PGA Tour is not smart enough to come out and make. They're just so hooked, and that's why the players got pissed off. They're so hooked on how good the players are, and that's what they keep bringing up, and that's why they need to.
Well, here's what
that's the mistake.
Here's what bothers a lot of people is the players. Is the question: are they that good, or is the equipment just that good? We have this discussion in all the sports today. Is the equipment just so good now that they look better and they perform better and they have to deal with that? I don't care about the PGA. It's 26 events a year or 30 events a year these days, whatever. Well, actually now they're probably playing every week. So 52
but
events.
Also humans are better these days. I mean, bigger guys are more athletic than they ever used to be. Everyone's hitting the gym a little bit more than they used to, obviously causing more injuries. I think the problem is they need to nail down on what they really want to do. I don't think the PGA Tour, and this is where Phil got a little upset, has an idea on where they want to go with this. And that's what he even said in one of his tweets is like, so what are you doing about it? And what's the argument? They don't have a specific argument. All they keep on saying is people hit it too far. Well, what's the situation here? That's why I agree with you on the Jack situation. The one time I heard him say to Nick Fallow, I don't care about the straightness. It's about actually the lefts and rights and waiting around, which is your point. Well, if they're going to address that, I think more people are on board. But they don't have a direction, and that's what's bothering me. That's what's bothering the players on tour because they have to answer 30 media questions a week about it, and that's the thing that bothers me too.
But
as a golfer,
that's the other thing too. The report wasn't brought out about the PGA. It was brought out about the distance that people can hit the ball.
PGA players.
Well, they use them as an example because that's what gets attention to their story, right?
It's wrong.
So if you're writing a story and you're going to say, "Oh, Mark Heatherman's hitting an extra 10 yards. He hits at 225 now," no one's going to read the report. So they have to go. They bring the PGA into it, but like I say, it's 52 courses a year. It's a PGA plays.
That's what I mean. Like they got to get
non-existent problem.
They got to do an amateur
but time
test.
of golf everywhere is a problem. This is why they say people aren't playing golf, and you and I experience it so many times we won't even go play. We're right here in Florida, one of the best places, but you can't even play the golf course. So many people are out there, and they're thinking they can. This is the one thing you see all the time, right? You see it. They think they can hit it so far. I just love it because when I've been caddying for a pro golfer, and you even see guys hit it past you. I mean, further than that, right? And I'm thinking, wow, that's 300 yards. People have no clue what 300 yards is. No clue whatsoever. And the further you go, no matter how great you are, you hit it more wildly. It's hard to keep a ball straight the further you hit it.
I think everyone just
at the regular golf course, it really is killing time of play. And then golf course designers are upset because they're worried about what golf courses are taking up on the world, the water it takes to run golf courses. It's hurting cities and stuff like that. Anyway, I'm not an expert on that. I just read the report, and I think that it is an issue that's going to come up over the next few years for sure.
Yeah, and to kind of wrap it up here, it's a great debate. I think it's going to go on for a little while now. It's going to make a change. It'll be interesting what direction they decide to go with. I think it's going to be something that could easily change golf as we know it. but I think what most players want, what Phil wants, is something different between pros and amateurs, and every sport has the same. That's part of the problem. You can buy a similar racket to Federer. You can buy a basketball that LeBron uses or shoes that he wears in theory, just like you can buy a golf club like they use. And the problem they're going to run into is the PGA players are not going to want their ball changed. They just change it for the amateurs, but unfortunately, amateurs buy the ball based on
the ball companies won't do it,
right?
So they're going to be forced into it through the PGA.
So they're
has to be
right, and that's the issue at hand. Is the ball companies will be forced by the PGA Tour. If you don't get the PGA Tour involved, the ball companies won't do it. And if they are forced to, no one's still going to buy that ball. So this is going to be a very interesting conversation.
Well, this is like the belly putter. It's going to take 10, 15 years to deal with. It's not going to come up in a year from now. We have a new ball. But anyway,
it's a little bigger than belly putter because there's other options. There's the ball, man. It's amazing. And the Titleist, for example, makes 99% of their income, I guess, on the ball.
Right.
So it's a hot market. I mean, every company has a ball. Not many companies have drivers. Not all have wedges, but they all have a ball. So, you know what? This is something that's going to be very interesting to see definitely down the road. And with the PGA Tour getting lower scores week in, week out, and tearing up golf courses, I think you will see something done in the future. Also, I would rather, if they want to keep the ball, then it's going to come down to the clubs, and I think you'll see the players rather take a different ball than the clubs.
Oh, for sure. I think that's what Jack's point was. They're never giving up the clubs because that's what people hit the ball with as much as the ball is important.
Right. The big head's a big deal.
Let's face facts. There's not many changes in balls every year, even though they advertise
exactly the same.
Exactly. But clubs, there's always changes.
Right.
So they're not going to give up a club. They're not going to give up, screwing in weights and all this kind of stuff. A ball will just be a ball, whatever. Anyway, the point of it is, interesting report, lots of controversy, lots of talking. Already Phil's getting himself involved. That's because Phil's going to need to retire and design golf courses soon. So we'll see what he's like at that point. But anyway, pick up the report. Interesting. Talk to your friends. Talk to him about it. We're looking forward to a big year from Tiger here starting this week. And we'll see what happens. I think there's some others. A lot of people hoping Phil can win one before this is the last year. He showed this past week. 4 rounds of top at 49, and he just couldn't do it on the final round. Yeah,
so quickly to address actually the event that just happened, we didn't do that either. Yeah. Phil did end up losing our home country guy. He's from BC. Canadian Nick Taylor won. Congratulations to him. Phil is showing you right. The 4th round is difficult for a man that age, but could maybe with a healthy week, maybe some rest going into a major, can play. Yeah. Obviously was there for 3 rounds. And then looking at this week real quick, a couple up top. Rory takes over the world number 1. Another conversation for another day, but he takes it over without playing. Bugs a lot of people. More importantly, former world number 1, Brooks Koepka, looking pretty bad right now. That injury is going to plague him. How long is that injury going to hurt his career? Not just season, but I'm thinking
his year is done.
I think so too.
They're showing no signs of him being ready.
You look at Rory, who can't win in majors. You look at Thomas, who's up and down like a yo-yo. Justin Rose is now down on world number 10. Ricky Fowler's never done what we've done. Schauffele can't seem to win a big event. Brooks Koepka's injured. DJ just came off an injury. Might slide in a major. And who's left? Just Tiger Woods. This might be the biggest year ever in golf history.
Yeah, let's face it, DJ can't putt. And so it doesn't matter how far he hits it, how many times he hit. This past week, he was inside 10 feet. I couldn't even count the amount of times. He can just be off with the water. But we already in our previous show talked about Tiger being number 1. I still believe it. I think he'll be number 1 right after the Masters. He doesn't have far to go with the past season he's had. It's going to be interesting to see.
The only one who can stop is Rory.
Rory's the only one. And will he play the majors any good? We're going to see what happens there. But I think Tiger's going to take over number 1, and it would be the biggest sports news to ever hit sports, that a 43-year-old former great is now going to be the greatest of all time. And even Jack, who's very, very complimentary of Tiger and quite often has said Tiger's better than me. There would be no doubt about it that Jack came back and won a major at 46, but to be number 1 in the world at 44 years old, I guess he probably crossed a birthday this year.
Yeah, he's going to win regular events. He's going to win a major. And he's going to be world number 1 at this age. After what he's been through, is truly phenomenal. Definitely maybe the greatest story maybe in sports. It's amazing. And I think it would put him over Jack even if he doesn't get the major record. But, the biggest thing is I think he will. I think he'll get all the records. I think he's destined to kind of have all the records. Sports gods gave him some turmoil. But the one thing they did give him was actually, in a way, longer life. Because as you said, hasn't dealt with technically the golf life for a big point in the middle of a career.
Once he got his back fixed.
So, you know what? This is going to be a fun time. And obviously, technology has helped us as well for someone like him, being able to compete with the younger generation because of that. But he's smarter, he's better, he's mentally fit.
You know what
no one else is mentally fit, and he's just crazy.
But he's also
he's
loving the way he's feeling, because in an article this week he said, "I can't believe I'm playing so early in the year." Like he would have typically just played got ready for the Masters.
Yeah.
He's loving golf. He's loving life right now that he's playing so well. That whatever they did to his back is like Tommy John surgery, I believe.
I believe so.
It looks like this is going to be as important to golf as Tommy John surgery has been to baseball. It'll be interesting to see, but he shows no signs of having any problems on the golf course.
I tell you what, I mean, there's golfers out there on tour right now that should get it. Obviously, it's tougher because unlike baseball, you don't have a contract that's going to pay you.
Yeah.
But Jason Day's the guy who keeps on mentioning it.
Take
like
a year
he keeps
off, man.
thinking about it.
Yeah.
He keeps thinking about it. I'm telling you what, I think the fuse back's the way to go.
Well, it needs a second success. Even though the greatest golf in the world has been a success, it still is a major operation. It's still probably a year off before you're ready to play golf. So it's a difficult one for golfers to take. But you know what? If second golfer does it and it works again, it'll become as common as Tommy John. And pitchers in baseball have no problem taking a year off and then being superstars after they've had that surgery. So anyway, we'll see what happens. Enjoy golf this weekend. Again, the great thing about the new schedule, there's great players playing every week. There's kind of no off week anymore unless they have a World Championship golf out there. But if not, the PGA is pretty heavy with top-notch players all the time. And like I said, 6 weeks. 6 weeks to the Masters. Hard to believe we're that close.
Yeah, you know it's gonna be fun.
Awesome.
Lots of storylines. Rory's gonna play the week before for the first time in his career. How does that shape up? And lots of big events, as you said, big events. Every week coming into the Masters, there's going to be lots of guys to be in the headlines of being the favorite. But, we'll roll with Tiger for now.
And put your Canadian Open on your schedule, because there's guys coming this year. U.S. Open's in the East. There'll be a lot of guys playing the Canadian Open, getting ready for the U.S. Open. So make sure that's marked on your calendar as well. And we'll keep reminding you as the Canadians out there talking about the game of golf. We look forward to talking to you after this weekend. See what happens. Cheer for Tiger. And wouldn't mind seeing a Kuchar even pick up a win here. But we'd love to see Tiger do it. And we're back Monday or Tuesday to talk about it. So we got to change that. Even when I